Well, in today's class, we are going to discuss about creational design patterns. Okay, so creational design patterns. So these creational design patterns are the one of the uh, purpose, one of the purpose of a design pattern, isn't it? So the purpose came under the classification of design patterns, isn't it? Actually, the design patterns are mainly classified into two types. Those are, first one is a purpose and second one is a scope. Okay, coming to the purpose. So uh, this purpose is tells to the users, okay, what are the design patterns, okay, will work, I mean how those will work, what it does, okay, such kind of what is the purpose of each and every design pattern. So based on that purpose, here we are having three types of design patterns. So first one is creational, second one is structural, and coming to a third one is behavioral. Okay, now in today's class, let us discuss a creational design patterns here. So what is creational patterns? Okay, what is the purpose of main these creational patterns, and how many types of creational patterns are there? So let us brief about those five creational patterns also. Okay, so first of all, see creational patterns. Here in software engineering, creational design patterns are design patterns that deals with object creation mechanism. Okay, what is the main purpose or goal of a creational design patterns? Okay, these design patterns are, okay, going to deal with object creation mechanisms in a design patterns. This is the main purpose of a creational pattern. Clear? So, and also trying to create objects in a manner suitable to the situation. How we are going to create that objects? So, here we are going to create objects, okay, which are suitable to the current situation. Okay, based on that, the design patterns are worked accordingly. Clear? So these creational design patterns are used to deal with a object creation mechanism. So why are we creating objects? If we want to, okay, if we want to interact with the classes, isn't it? If you want to use, or if you want to perform some kind of operations, or concrete classes operations or something, abstract class operations, interface class, any class, if you want to interact with a class, okay, then you must need a object creation. So while doing the creation of a object, here we are going to use a keyword, new keyword, isn't it? In OOPS language, to create a object for the class, which keyword you are going to use? New keyword, right? So for such kind of creation of objects in our project also needs many objects. By creating that object only, we are going to interact with the classes, isn't it? We are going to access the class members. So if you want to work such kind of project, then you should need to create some objects here. For that purpose, you are going to choose this creational type of design patterns. Clear? And coming to the second point, the basic form of object creation could result in design problem. So what is the result? You are going to create some objects in your project or coding. It may be a coding or design some, okay, design or coding. So while creating the object, by creation of this object, these objects will solve the total problems of a design or not. By creating these objects, okay, so it will result or it will give the complete solution of a design problem or not. This is the question here. Okay, sometimes yes, sometimes no. While creating these objects, if it solves the overall design problems, then okay, there is no issues at that situation. Sometimes it will solve 100% the design problems whichever we are facing in our design, isn't it? Okay, there is a second option, second thing is also there. That means sometimes it may added some complexity to the design. Okay, by creating new objects in a particular design or coding, okay, sometimes it may little bit added complexity. It may, by adding such kind of objects to your program, it may increase the length of your code. It may increase the length of your code, which means automatically complexity, it will increase some complexity. So that is also a problem in object creation. Okay, these design patterns are used, okay, whenever you want to create some objects into your, okay, design problem to solve your problem. In such a cases, by creating these objects, you may solve complete 100% problem whichever you are facing, design problems. Sometimes it may create additional problem. What is that? It will increase the length of your code, or it will create some complexities. So if you need some other some place, it's some I mean it will increase the lines of code, means it is very difficult to use by a client. As a developer, you may understand that. Okay, but these kinds of objects are increased, that is very headache process to a client or customer, isn't it? So what should we do if such kind of problems, okay, raised in your designing or creation of object? What you are going to do at that situation? Okay, creational design patterns solve these problems by somehow controlling this object creation. Okay, those are going to decrease the complexity of this problem. So how they are going to mean provide a solve? Somehow not 100%. Okay, somehow they are going to control this object creation. Okay, by controlling some object creation in that design pattern, likewise they are going to reduce some complexity of a design. Clear? So creational design patterns are, say the next fourth point. Creational design patterns are composed of two dominant ideas. So those are composed of two dominant ideas. What are those? The first one is encapsulating knowledge about which concrete classes the system use. So our project or our system use some concrete classes. Which kind of concrete classes we are going to use in our program? It is going to encapsulate that things. Okay, it is going to hide something. What it is hiding? Which kind of concrete classes we are using into our system? Encapsulation means hiding something, isn't it? So it is hiding some information. From whose? From the client point of view, not for the developer's view. Okay, while building some objects, while creating some objects, okay, to decrease those or to control those objects creation, okay, by simplifying some set of operations at the client end, you should implement everything in background. Okay, you should place everything. Okay, you want to create the number of objects which is supported to your system. You can create the multiple number of objects in background itself, which objects are supported to your system. So everything as usual manner, you should create those things, but you are going to hide those things in user panel at the place of client. Okay, you will get this clear picture in what now after this we are going, there are 5 creational design patterns are there. While discussing those, I'll give you the some real-time example there. Okay, right? First of all, here something is encapsulating from the client point of view. Okay, that is the first point here. Second one, another is hiding how instances of these concrete classes are created and combined. What we are going to do in second step? Second step is also same. Hiding how instances of these concrete classes are, where these instances are created and combined, okay, to work togetherly. We are going to hide this information also. Okay. These are the 2 creational design patterns, ideas. And if you go to the next slide, here we are having creational design patterns are further categorized into creational design patterns are further categorized into 2 types. Those are object creational patterns. Second one is class creational patterns. What are those? First one is object creational patterns. Second one is class creational patterns. These are the 2 categories of creational design patterns. Okay, let us see the first one. In first one, object creational pattern deals with object creation. So this category deals with completely focuses on creation of a object. And coming to the second one, class creational patterns deal with class instantiation, which means class creation. Going to create new class, or if you want to go into create new object. So about these 2, one is take care by object creational patterns and another one is take care by class creational patterns. There are 2 categories of creational patterns are there. And if suppose if you want to create a subclasses, okay, it will postpone the creation of subclasses. It will be mainly focuses on creation of a main class itself. Okay, according to the situation, okay, later we are going to create a subclasses. Even the object creation also, sharing of objects or creation of other objects will be postponed. First of all, it will take care about, okay, what are the primary objects which we need to support a system. And also here also, the what are the base classes which we need to support the system. So these two creational patterns are focusing on those 2 points itself. If any kind of subclasses creation or other objects and objects creation will be do in later, I mean some later situations, isn't it? So this is about creational design patterns. If we'll move to the next slide. Okay, five well-known design patterns that are parts creational patterns. Actually, under the creational patterns, we are having 5 design patterns. Okay, so let us discuss about the what are the creational patterns. So these 5 are actually placed in some table we have seen organization of patterns concept na. In that concept there is a table form, isn't it? So this creational patterns, structural patterns, and behavioral patterns are okay. Make some columns and some to split the rows. Here we are going to use scope classification, which means under scope we have again 2, isn't it? So one is object, one is class. Object view, class view, like that we have divided into 3 columns and 2 rows. So based on, okay, based on those, here the creational patterns are 5 types. First one is abstract factory pattern. What is the first one here? Abstract factory pattern. So what it will do? Which provides an interface for creating related or dependent objects without specifying object concrete classes. By using abstract factory patterns, okay, we are going to create objects, either related objects or dependent objects. We're going to provide an interface. So here first of all we are going to define one interface class. After that, to interact with the interface, there is a need of some creation of some objects. Those may be a related or those may be a dependent objects. Okay, without specifying the objects concrete classes, right? So for this here we can use a implements keyword, isn't it? If you want to okay interact some interfaces classes, then there you can use some implement class implement keyword with some interfaces class implements interface name. So if you want to access those interfaces directly, okay, you can create some kind of objects in main class, isn't it? So like that, by using abstract factory patterns, we are going to create some dependent objects which are used to okay, interact, I mean, which are used to access the interfaces, right? And if we are moving to the second one is factory method pattern, which allows a class to differ instantiation of instantiation to subclass. It allows a class, and after that, so a factory method pattern actually allows us to construct some kind of classes, but those are some little differ from subclasses. Right? So this is the second one. And coming to the third one, builder pattern. So what it will do, which separates the construction of complex objects from its representation. So what are the complex objects we found? Okay, we found in our design patterns. Okay, by creating some objects, there is a situation, which means lines of code may be increased and complexity of that problem may be increased, like that we have discussed in. So if such kind of situations, okay, will occur while creating some patterns, in such a situation you are going to, okay, separate these representations, okay, in builder pattern. So builder pattern is used to which separates the construction of complex objects from its representation. So we want to, okay, represent same place, right? So that the same construction process can create different representations. For example, it is useful when construction process of the object is very complex. And if we want to separate the construction process from the representation, then we must use this builder kind of design patterns. Okay. If whatever the complex objects are there, those should be represented in some other place in a particular design pattern, isn't it? So for such a case, we are going to use builder patterns. And coming to the fourth one, prototype pattern. What is the fourth one here? Prototype pattern. This prototype pattern specifies the kind of object to create using a prototypical instance and creates new objects by cloning this prototype, which means it will create some families of, okay, prototype methods. In such a case, if you want to use those one, okay, one prototype is failed, automatically you will go and use some other prototype near to that one. So like that, there is a alternatives are provided into this prototype pattern. Okay, it specifies the kind of object to create using a prototypical instances, and those will be replaced one with another if situation is demanded. Clear? So this is about prototype pattern. And last one is singleton pattern. Singleton pattern which ensures a class only has one instance. It ensures a class only it has singleton. Means here we want to use only single instance, and provides a global point of access to it. Okay, if you want to access that one, here we are going to use some global, okay, point. So such kind of okay patterns are coming under a singleton pattern. Okay, this is just about overview of these patterns. In next class onwards, we will see each and every pattern individually with examples, with some designs, okay, or some with some codings. We will discuss about these 5 patterns one by one. Okay. Thank you.